Right, hey guys, it's Cardo. Now, this Mini Cooper is back for another standard exterior detail package. I have detailed it quite a while ago, but it's in for the full service. So we're going to be treating this vehicle because it does have an excessive amount of traffic film, bird droppings, road grime, and a lot of brake dust caked onto the wheels, and we will be treating all of those accordingly. So, let's get started. The first vehicle that appeared on my YouTube channel is back again for a standard detail, which consists of a wash and paint protection. A lot has changed since that video, and not just the products in my arsenal, but my thought process in a detail, what methods to use, and overall quality I will provide as a professional. Despite this Mini Cooper being under my watch, it has collected some common contaminants that a daily driver would find after months from a detail service. Impurities like bird droppings, which I am worried about because they might have etched onto the clear coat after so long, visible traffic film after a couple of rainy days, and a thick double C layer of brake dust mixed with road grime and other fallout, as well as some browning tires in need of a conditioner to bring back that matte black appearance that this sporty coupe would benefit from. I know there are other vehicles that I can showcase like disaster interior restorations, abandoned vehicles, and other out of the norm services. But it's nice to step back and appreciate a classic exterior detail service with some cleaners and bubbles to get the vehicle back in a presentable state. Here I will go over with you guys on my thought process with some befores, mid-processes, and aftershots. Satisfying visuals paired with some narrative commentary, you are in for a treat, so kick back and enjoy the video. The results of your detail will depend heavily on the chemicals and tools you use. Here I will use a variety of products from brands you may have heard of. A thorough clean on the exterior paint, wheels, tires, and glass each have their assigned products to which I will demonstrate. In this detail I will use Geon's APC, PNS Pearl Auto Shampoo, Brake Buster, and Dynamic Dressing at 4:1, Kosh Chemi's Magic Wheel Cleaner and SO02 Spray Sealant, G-Technic's G6 Perfect Glass, and Turtle Wax's Ceramic QDS. As for my equipment, I only have two, which is my Eco Electric Leaf Blower to dry the car, and my Krenzel 1322TS pressure washer at a flow rate of 2.1 GPM. Not everyone will agree with what I have, so substitute your needs or enjoy this detail that I will present to you. I like chocolate donuts. They are sweet and fluffy, but I don't like tires looking like chocolate donuts, so I treat them accordingly with special tools and products to get them in mint condition. Now, because there was an excessive amount of brake dust, instead of an APC pre-treatment, I bump it up to a wheel and tire pre-treatment with Brake Buster at 1:1. This concentrated alkaline cleaner shreds on contact, as you can see with the chocolate melting right off the tires. Now, because the wheels are a glossy black, it's hard to see on camera, but I can say that the brake dust and other grime had loosened up to make a safer contact wash with the majority of the grit softened up. A thorough rinse was followed up, revealing a much cleaner surface. If you are dealing with similar tires, or worse, make sure to rinse your driveway or wherever you are working on to ensure that the floor doesn't stain with the spent chemical and grime sitting for too long. Next, the wheels were tackled with the powerful yet gentle prescription from Kosh Chemi called Magic Wheel Cleaner Undiluted. This viscous active wheel cleaner generates enough foam to spread around and sticks on longer for more dwell time so the product can do its thing. Paired with my Max Shine wheel mitt, the soft fibers gently glide on the glossy finish to agitate the cleaner. This is my first time using a dedicated wash mitt for the wheels, and I can say this feels oddly satisfying because your fingers can mold onto the surface, giving you a more accurate feel on what had been cleaned. On surfaces with a larger flat or complicated panels, this would be ideal since you can cover more area and shape your mitt to your hand. Of course, this won't be able to reach into the bolts and intricate areas, so a dedicated brush is called to order to finish the job. I use a boar's hair detail brush to get into the areas where the mitts struggle to clean. As you can see, the cleaner is still present with its thick formula generating plenty of suds for me to use. After the wheel had been thoroughly cleaned, I rinsed afterwards, revealing a beautiful finish with no brake dust present. The tires were next, and I spray on the same dilution of brake buster used earlier from the pre-treatment to neutralize the acid-based chemical that could be lingering. Even after a heavy hit with a pre-treatment, you can clearly see that the tires are browning the more I agitated it. This tells me there are probably still a lot of grime embedded or an old tire dressing still lingering, which could require several passes from a chemical, brush, and rinse procedure. I am not going to show you on all the tires, but it took 3 whole passes with the brush and cleaner until the tire was fully prepped, or the foam remained white. I guess that is the benefit for high foam tire cleaners, because you can agitate it and the color of the foam will be your indicator on when the surface needs more work or is ready for a dressing. If you are maintaining your vehicle in a reasonably timed manner, you can get away with a more gentle cleaner or diluting brake buster even more. Everyone has a different car with different grime, so dilute and test according to your needs. I scrubbed the fenders with the same dilution of brake buster. There really isn't much to say than the general dirt and grime, so enjoy this moment of silence. There are a variety of methods on how you can clean wheels, tires, and fenders, not to mention the endless catalog of chemicals and tools to choose from. I try my best to explain both ends of the spectrum with weekend warriors on one side and detailers working as a business on the other end. Both would suggest different ideas, and honestly, at the end of the day, it all comes down to how you feel like detailing. If you like no foam, that's okay. If you like non-acid wheel cleaners only, that's also okay. And if you're only using expensive products, guess what? That's also okay. Detailing is the art of conditioning a vehicle to a presentable state of high cleanliness and long-lasting protection. How you get to that finish line is up to you. So make sure to do some thorough research to find the right method for you. Cool weather? Check. Dirty surface? Check. An APC to put in the foam cannon? Also check. I proceed onto the APC Pre-Wash to loosen up a majority of the caked on grime that a regular car shampoo would struggle with. Here I use Geon's Q2M APC at 4:1 dilution ratio, which is a pretty strong solution and will indeed cut through the grime. Poured in the chemical along with a gentle stir. I then lock it onto my pressure washer gun. Pulling the trigger, some creamy, thick foam gently blanks the vehicle in a soft coat of high cleaning bubbles to loosen up any grime by chemical reaction. As stated in my APC Pre-Wash tutorial video, Geon's APC has a pH at around 13 at the 4:1 dilution, so this packs some serious punch to ensure all the swirl causing grit was gently carried off the panels with some highly lubricated foam. Now as you can see, this APC creates a lot of suds very nicely in a foam cannon, and applying this on a dry surface allows it to cling for a lot longer. I usually go for a more runny solution, but for your viewing pleasures, I soften my water source to increase the foam output. Letting the APC sit for a few minutes, you can see right away a lot of the gunk is dripping off the surface, and that's without pre-rinsing the vehicle with water. Contaminants such as traffic film are softened up to rinse with ease. Gritty dirt and dust are encapsulated in some lubricated bumbles to gently glide off. And bird droppings melting away with this disgusting mustard yellow color that I am sure is not mustard. Water doesn't really do much from a chemistry standpoint other than emulsifying to some extent, but doesn't clean like an alkaline cleaner. So this helps speed up my process by addressing the grime first head on before initiating on the contact wash. This guarantees a safe agitation process with the mitt and less downtime trying to scrub or rinse stubborn grime. A few minutes later, I then thoroughly rinse the solution off. Now, I am using a 15-degree nozzle, which some may freak out about, but no worry not, because I turned down the pressure of my machine to 1300 psi. At this setting, the psi is still safe enough for the paint, using common sense, and the nozzle helps focus the area I'm rinsing, which is handy for those intricate areas where the suds usually hide and reactivate. No detail is complete without addressing the intricate areas. With a soft boar's hair detail brush and the same dilution of APC from Geon, I address the areas where a washmint would struggle with getting into. This Mini Cooper has a fair amount of emblems and grills, so I start from the front of the vehicle and work my way to the back. I generously spray the solution on my brush first and then the surface to ensure that there is enough lubrication when agitating it and enough chemical to thoroughly clean. The small hairs on the brush will dislodge any potential grime that could be sitting in the small corners of the grille, fine lettering of the emblems, and complex panel gaps. Missing this step will create a bit of a hassle when drying the vehicle because if you use a blow dryer on the intricate areas, you might see some dirt come out, making a swirl hazard if you are not aware of it when passing the towel, even if you have lubrication from a drying aid. So keep that in mind when working on dirty or neglected vehicles. Since it was a cloudy day, I extended my work area a little more to allow the product to do its thing, as I tend to the other areas. If it was a hot day in direct sunlight, I probably would work in smaller sections and rinse afterwards for each area. It might sound like I'm adding additional steps for more water, but I will tell you it's better than having stained APC, especially if you live in California since we are about to get some brutal summer pretty soon. Everyone has a different work routine, so if you have one that you would like to share, post it in the chat box below this video. My furry assistant comes in to inform me that I am doing a pretty good job on this detail. A bit of a distraction, but emotional support to keep on the hustle. Her name is Luma, and she is a Shepherd Lab mix and has been with me through the best and worst times. This has nothing to do with the detail, but make sure to remind your family members how much you care for them and that they are your reason to keep working hard. So until next video, furry little friend. With the majority of the swirl causing grit removed, I then proceed onto the contact wash. Here I utilize P&S Pearl Auto Shampoo to lubricate the surface and use its cleaning capabilities to further cleanse the vehicle from any remaining impurities. In a bucket of clean water, I eyeball 128:1 dilution ratio in a bucket with approximately 2 gallons of water. I mix the solution with my hand and keep adding more product until I am satisfied with the amount of lubrication from just the touch of my fingers. Once served, I then place many wash mitts and a wash mitt wand in the bucket to prime all the fibers in some soupy bubbly goodness for the multi-mitt wash technique. Since I didn't have my measurement cup on hand, I will also eyeball it on my foam cannon with about 3 ounces of soap to 16 ounces of water, to which was followed up with a gentle stir, not shake. Now I have been testing something new recently, so I pulled the trigger to lather the top portions of the vehicle only, which are the windshield glass and roof. Reason being is that I want fresh, still clinging foam on the vertical panels, so I work on the top horizontal parts first and then foam the rest. On sunny days, or if you take a while, if you have foamed the whole vehicle, by the time you get to the sides, most of the solution had probably run off or dried up. I am still trying to test my hypothesis to see benefits, flaws, influences by weather, and overall end results with this method, so this isn't right nor wrong. I will probably follow up later in a video or talk about it on Instagram, so stay tuned or drop your opinion about this method in the comment section below. Utilizing my trusty wash mitt wand, I can cover more area without having to use the stepping stool or, in a very ghetto manner, hop on the tire and hang onto the panel for dear life. A majority of the grit had already been addressed with the APC Pre-Wash, and since I'm using a high quality soap and clean wash mitts, this is a pretty safe method to use with just one mitt, so no need for overpriced pad washers or being overly conservative about swirls. Next up, I then foam the remaining areas of the vehicle. In liberal fashion, I lather the surface in some soapy solution to prep the final step of the contact wash. I like the foam to be between clinging and runny, but not to the point where there are large chunks of bubbles. Over applying foam, while it may look satisfying enough to take a shot for the gram, it's really not that practical since most of it will run off with gravity dragging it down, forming large clumps that will plop onto the floor quickly. Having foam between runny and thick allows for longer dwell time, so by the time you get to the end of the vehicle, there is still enough soap for lubrication. I would occasionally sin and overdose on the foam for my personal use, but as a business owner, I would need to work with what is logical and efficient, and nothing more. Now, I am sure you can see the benefits for the multi-mitt wash technique. There is less downtime compared to having to dunk the same already exhausted mitt in an overpriced pad washer so you can have a, quotation, swirl-free wash. I'm not a fan of the 2-bucket wash method since it wastes more water at around a whopping 8 to 10 gallons. You kill your mitts a lot faster with all that aggressive agitation, use more product trying to lubricate the water, and, not to mention, it is just a plastic bucket with a plastic net and an obscured price that doesn't really give you a, quotation, swirl-free wash. I get it, the buckets look beautiful in their colorway and sticker labels look professional. But let's be real guys, if you can afford overpriced plastic bowls with plastic nets, I am certain you have enough money to buy dozens of mitts at the fraction of the cost and maybe even be able to print your own labels at a local print shop. I'll make a video later regarding different wash techniques, pros, cons, how much it would cost for both, and much more. So stay tuned for that with the subscribe button below this video. A thorough rinse was called to order. There really is nothing much to talk about this process, so for your viewing pleasure, enjoy this moment of silence. Drying the vehicle with my eco-electric leaf blower was next. I didn't dry the paint thoroughly because the sealant I'm going to show in a minute will mix well with water. So I focused more on the crevices, emblems, wheels, and tires, especially the tires. Not many tire dressings buff off well when wet, so a thorough blow dry on those areas is a requirement for this detail. The paint protection for this vehicle was Kosh Chemi's SO02 spray sealant. This premium product will add a lot of slickness to the surface and a boost in gloss for a show car result. With a premium plush towel, I primed the fibers with the sealant first before spraying onto the surface for an even coverage. Now as you can see, I didn't really spray that much onto the paint, and a little goes a long way. As I wipe on the product, I can feel and hear my towel getting slippier with each pass, telling me that the product had been evenly applied. Followed with a buff reveals a mirror-like shine that is hundreds of times better than what it was before this detail. This product was applied on all the painted surfaces, stickers, headlights, chrome pieces, and some non-painted areas. You could apply this on the glass, but I would rather tend to it with a different procedure. This sealant was not intended for half a year of durability, but it's similar to Beadmaker, where the focus is on slickness and gloss. Personally speaking, I would prefer gloss and slickness anytime over durability. Yeah, there are some claims of some products lasting a really long time, and while it is impressive to see the technological advances in our products, I will be honest with you, I wouldn't want an old layer of protection on my car. So instead, I would prefer if the product would give a more visual benefit than a technical. I mean, let's be real. Budget car or sports vehicles, we car enthusiasts critique the outside visuals rather than the performance. So by selecting a product that can deliver on the gloss and slick feel, will definitely win the trophy anytime and anywhere. If you're a fan of durability, there is no shame. Use whatever product you desire and enjoy it yourself. My opinions, at the end of the day, are just my opinions. And that is the car dose, my friends. We share different ideas because we are a community full of detailing culture. So if you use this sealant or want to share a different opinion, please use the chat box below this video so I can have an open discussion with you guys. Sporty tires need to be conditioned and dressed for a presentable appearance, and for this Mini Cooper, it was in need of some help. The tire dressing for this detail was P&S Dynamic Dressing RTU version at 4:1 dilution. This product is fairly new to me, and I had been using it on different occasions like the trim, tires, and interior. I've been digging this product for its ease of use, that warm, cozy smell that it has, and the matte finish it leaves at this dilution. Applying the product is really easy and is more of a liquid than a cream or gel-based dressing from other well-known brands. Application-wise, it is hassle-free, smells nice, easily dilutable, but my only complaint is that because it is more liquid than cream or gel-based consistency, it leaves large clumps of liquids throughout the surface, making an overly wet look that will sling very easily if not buffed accordingly. I've noticed this only happens on the tires, so the trim and the interior is a different story. To solve this issue, I use a dry buffing towel to remove any excess product and to level the dressing evenly. After a couple of wipes, this product leaves a clean, matte finish that is stealthy and pleasing to look at. I feel like this will go well with mostly black interiors, white painted cars, or triple black color coordinated vehicles. This product does add an additional mandatory step if you are using it on the tires, but I feel like the end results are impressive if you are aiming for that clean, non-reflective matte look. A full in-depth review should be called to order, but thorough testing is a must, so please wait patiently for that video. Clearing things up before closing the detail, I attend to the glass to get it into crystal-like results. I use G-Technic's G6 Perfect Glass paired with a premium glass cleaning towel and waffle weave buffing towel, both from the Rag Company. I love this glass cleaner because it is odorless and dye free, meaning there are no additives and it is just a glass cleaner. Having less additives is something that I will always praise in a product, which gives me more performance to get the job done, and less visual or odor add-ons that will distract me from the bigger picture and dilute the product even more. Using premium towels makes the process a whole lot better because there is less lint being left behind and minimal friction on the glass when gliding the towel. My only tip here are for newcomers is to make sure to thoroughly brush the gaps of the glass and door panels. If those areas are not properly cleaned, some of the dirt can get dislodged and ruin your towel with black stains and smear the muck onto the glass. This has happened to me several times in my early days, so don't do my rookie mistake and tend to those areas accordingly to preserve the quality of your towels. If you have a dedicated shop or working in your garage, you could just have a bucket of water with your towel detergent ready to use so you can put the towels in there if they ever get dirty. This will help keep the dirt loosened up so when it goes into the washer and out into the dryer, the stain won't be as severe compared to leaving it dry by the time you finish the detail and sort your towels. With everything cleaned, conditioned, and ready for the road, there is that last 1%, and that is to thoroughly inspect my work for spots, residue, fresh bird droppings, or any other surface particles. Here I will utilize Turtle Wax's ceramic detail spray. This adds a sacrificial layer of protection and has enough lubrication to wipe the panel for any surface particles. There is no need to detail spray the whole entire vehicle. I only use it when I see some fresh bird droppings or particles. If this is for a show car, then a gloss enhancing detail spray would be necessary and would require a full surface wipe down on the whole exterior. However, since this is not for a show car and driven by non-detail folk, a full QDS exterior wipe down is not necessary. The sealant from earlier already added a lot of gloss to the paint, so I don't think an additional maybe 5 to 7% of gloss would be noticeable to the owner who is not detail oriented or overly meticulous about the condition of their vehicle. Maybe one day if someone drops off a supercar, or if I get the privilege to prep a show car, then yes, I would go as far as to applying a glossy paint protection and a full QDS wipe down. But for now, I will use the detail spray in a conservative and sparingly manner. This Mini Cooper got a not so mini service and is now complete. Thank you if you had watched this video till the end. I really do put in a brutal amount of hours trying my best to nail the shots for the channel and for the gram. Detailing is a therapeutic experience for me, and being able to document it for you guys to witness my crusade just makes my day ever more sweet. I have plenty of more wash and narration videos on the way, so stay tuned for that, as well as some product reviews and tool demonstrations. I have big plans for this channel, and a bigger heart for the passion that goes into my work, so expect some extra picante content coming soon. The products showcased, methods demonstrated, and ideas shared may or may not be something you agree on. I have my own way of detailing, and you as well. We both have a comfortable method of conditioning a vehicle, whether if it is for a business or just being as a car enthusiast. I would love to see new ideas being implemented, so if you guys have one, please share your process in the chat box below this video so I can give it a go and give it my thoughts on it. Alright, and that's going to be a wrap for this detail, guys. Now, I'll be very honest with you. There was a couple things I wanted to do on this vehicle, but unfortunately, the client did not agree to that. The trim is really faded. There's a lot of bird droppings, especially etchings onto the clear coat. And there's oxidation on the roof. Some of the stickers up front even have some of its own oxidation on it. There's just a lot of things that this vehicle needs. But again, the client did not want that package, so they just wanted a basic standard wash and wax detail. Perfectly fine, but I'll try to convince them later down the line. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this detail, the therapeutic process of a wash and wax, my take on what it means, and also demonstrate some products for you guys to watch. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe down below, and hit that bell icon so you'll be notified with every video that I upload. Thank you guys for watching. Take care. Have a good time.